The next class of submarines started by the Japanese were the 429 surfaced and 493 submerged ton Ha-101 class, also known as the Sen-Yuso-Sho type. These were obviously very small boats. Their purpose was to be specialized supply submarines. They were meant to run shipments to bypassed bases. To help build them faster, electric welding was used, and they were built in modules. They couldn't carry much despite sacrificing torpedo armament, but it was hoped by building a lot of them, they could get the job done. 88 were originally planned, but only 23 were actually started, with a mere 10 being completed. Too little, too late. A couple made runs to Marcus and the Ryukyus, Iwo Jima, but that was about it. Main armament was nope. Propulsion on the surface was provided by one diesel engine, which produced 400 horsepower that ran the one propeller and recharged the batteries for a surface speed of 10 knots. While submerged, they used their batteries to power the one motor, which produced 150 horsepower for a top speed of 2 knots. Range on the surface was 3,000 nautical miles at 10 knots, and submerged, they could do 46 nautical miles at 2 knots. Test diving depth was 95 meters. Ha-101 made a supply run to Marcus and back to Japan from mid-June to early July 1945. Upon returning, she began conversion to a tanker submarine that lasted the rest of the war. Post-war, she was decommissioned and scuttled. Ha-102 made her first supply run to Marcus and back from early April 1945 to late April. From late June to mid-July, she made a second run to Marcus and then began conversion to a tanker submarine. Post-war, she was scuttled. Ha-103 made a supply run to Minami Diato and then back to Japan in the second half of April 1945. Post-war, she was scuttled. Ha-104 made her first supply run to and from Marcus in the second half of May 1945. From late June to early July, she made a second run to Marcus and back to Japan. Post-war, she was scuttled. Ha-105 made a supply run to Amami Oshima, then returned to Japan in the first half of July 1945, and then began conversion to a tanker submarine. Post-war, she was scuttled. Ha-106 through 112 were completed, or near enough to, but saw no real deployment before being surrendered at the end of the war and were scuttled.